I felt this. If you've ever been blindsided, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that rips your heart out. Now, dim the lights, grab something strong, and let me take you to the afternoon my marriage ended in a single text bubble. I was buried in spreadsheets when my phone buzzed on the desk like a hornet trapped under glass. One glance at the preview, and the numbers on my screen melted into meaningless gray soup. Sarah Redart just having coffee with a friend. Hot beverage. Catching up. Miss you. The little heart emoji she still used after 8 years sat there like a cruel joke written by someone else. My thumbs froze. Something bitter climbed my throat. Not suspicion yet, just a prickling sense of dread, the way you feel a storm come before the first raindrop hits. I typed, deleted, typed again. My pulse hammered in my ears like a warning. Me, tell him I said hi. Me, actually asking if his wife liked the lake house weekend photos. 3 dots appeared, vanished, reappeared. 37 seconds of nothing. 37 seconds that felt like 37 years. Sarah Redart. What photos? The room tilted. There were no lake house photos. Not with us. But 6 months ago, she came home sun-kissed and glowing, saying she'd gone up north with the girls to unplug. She showed me pictures of her laughing, wine glass catching the sunset, Jenna's arm around her shoulder. I liked everyone, told her she looked happy. I remember thinking she had never looked more beautiful. Now, those same pictures felt radioactive. Me, the ones where you wear my gray hoodie, the one you said got ruined in the wash. Me. Funny how it came back from the lake house without a single stain. The dots didn't come back. I stared at the screen until the letters burned my eyes. My hands shook so violently the phone clattered against the desk. 8 years. 2 miscarriages we cried through together. The night we slow danced in the kitchen to a song we couldn't name because the baby we finally had was asleep in the next room. All of it collapsed in my chest like a building hit by silent explosives. I called her, straight to voicemail. Her laughing voice telling me to leave a message, the same recording she'd used since college. I hung up and dialed again. Again. Each unanswered ring carved something out of me. Then the text came. Sarah Redart, can we talk when I get home, please? No denial, no frantic excuses. Just that soft little please she used when she knew she had already lost. I left the office without a word, drove home with the windows down, so the November air could slap me awake. Every love song on the radio felt like a personal attack. I replayed the timeline in my head. How tired she'd been last spring. How she started locking her phone. How she flinched when I touched her back in the mornings, as if my hands had become foreign. I sat in the driveway for an hour, engine off, staring at our porch light flicker the way it always does when the bulb's about to die. When her SUV finally pulled in, the headlights swept across the garage like searchlights. She killed the engine but didn't get out. I watched her silhouette head against the steering wheel. Eventually, the driver's door opened. She walked toward the house slowly, like wading through water. Her eyes were puffy, mascara smudged into bruises. When she saw me in the dark, she froze 10 feet away. Jake! My name cracked in her throat. I couldn't speak. My tongue felt glued to the roof of my mouth. She hugged herself, rocking slightly. It wasn't supposed to happen. The words were small, pathetic, but not a joke. How long? My voice came out raw. Since April. 7 months. 7 months of her kissing me goodnight, while someone else's cologne lingered in her hair. 7 months of me packing her favorite lunch when she worked late. 7 months of making love to a woman who was already gone. His wife. No, she said, shoulders curling inward. I found out last week. That's why I sent the coffee text. I laughed, and even I was scared by the sound. Damage control, in case. She reached out first, tears rolling down her cheeks, untouched by her hands. I swear, I was walking in there to end it, but you didn't. She had no answer. We stood in the cold as the porch light gave up, plunging us into darkness. I wanted to scream, shove her, drop to my knees, beg her to unchoose him. Instead, I said the sentence that ended us. Pack a bag. You're not sleeping here tonight, Sarah. She walked past me like a ghost. I stayed on the porch, listening to drawers opening and closing upstairs, the soft thud of her suitcase, the jangle of her keys. 20 minutes later, she returned with the overnight bag we bought for our honeymoon. She paused at the door. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I never meant to hurt you." "You didn't hurt me," I said, surprised at how steady my voice was. "You deleted me." The door clicked shut behind her like a coffin lid. I don't know how long I stood there. Long enough for the neighbor's sprinklers to soak my shoes. Long enough for our daughter's nightlight to flicker off across the street at the babysitter's. When I finally went inside, the house smelled of her perfume and the lie we'd been living. I stared at that coffee text one last time, then screenshot it, cropped out the heart she no longer deserved, and sent to the one person who needed to see it. His wife replied instantly, "Thank you. I owe you." I turned off the phone, poured 3 fingers of the bourbon we'd been saving for Lily's high school graduation, and sat in the dark until the bottle was empty and the pain finally dulled. Somewhere around 4 a.m., I realized the worst part wasn't that she cheated. The worst part was that I still love her enough to hope she'd fight, to come home. She never did. If this story wrecked you, smash that like button until it breaks. Share it with someone who needs to hear they're not crazy for feeling what they feel. And subscribe, because the next one might be the one that saves you when you think nothing can. Turn on the bell. I kept all the emotional beats, timing, and tension intact, but made the wording feel fresh, cinematic, and ready for narration.